Welcome back to another episode of English Cooking, where I teach you English through cooking. Today, we are going to invent, right now, we're going to invent a new recipe that has never, ever been made ever before. I can't speak properly. It's never been made. Can you believe it? I'm going to name it, okay? I'm going to name it Mellow Fellow Marshmallow Jello. Mellow Fellow Marshmallow Jello. Isn't that a cool name? All right, so what is this? Well, it's going to be Jello with marshmallows. All right, so we're gonna mix up some Jello and we're gonna add some marshmallows in here. Now, what is Jello? Do you know what Jello is? Well, Jello is this stuff right here. Look, we've got raspberry Jello and we got some strawberry Jello. So we're gonna mix raspberry and strawberry together and make Jello. So it's gonna be like a mixed berry Jello. Now guys, if you look at this packaging here, look at that label. It doesn't say Jello. It says Jelicious. Jelicious. Look at that on this one too. Jelicious. Why doesn't it say Jello? Well, it doesn't say Jello because Jello is actually the brand name. It's a name, like, you know what the word brand means, right? Brand means like the company name, like iPhone. I'm making this video on my iPhone, right? You know, iPhone is Apple is a company, right? Another company like Samsung cannot call their phone the iPhone. Let's imagine if Samsung came out with a phone and called it the iPhone. Apple would be really ticked off, right? Ticked off means upset, angry. So Apple would call up Samsung and say, "Get yourself a lawyer. We're taking you to court for stealing our name, iPhone." Right? So that's what would happen if this, it's just powder. That's all it is. I mean, anybody could make this, right? Anybody could kind of mix together these ingredients and sell it. They just can't use the word Jello because Jello is the brand name. All right, so let's just open a pack here and see what it is. So, oh, that smells good. It smells like raspberry. All right, so let's open it up. See, it's just all it is. All it is like powder. See that? Can you see that in my hand? Boy, that's good. So, a brand name. Now, this is kind of interesting. In English, sometimes, actually very often, the brand name, if it's a really popular brand, it actually becomes the generic name. Okay, so look at this, right? It says Jelicious, right? Now, I bought this at Walmart, right? When you go to Walmart, you can see all the different packs, right? And there was Jello at Walmart. I could have bought the Jello brand. The thing is, it was more expensive, right? Usually the real brand of something is more expensive. These were like 50 cents per pack. And I think the Jello brand was like maybe $1. Okay, so usually the generic brands are cheaper. So this is just a generic brand. Now the word generic just means general, right? So if you go to the store, you know, and you want to buy a product, you know, sometimes you'll have a choice between the real brand and like just some other knockoff brand. Okay, knockoff means like a fake brand, right? Not the real thing. Now I'll give you another example. Okay, so take a look at this. Do you know what this is? What are these things? Okay, these are called Q-tips. All right. So this is actually the name of the brand, or this is the product name. It's Q-tips. So you could make something like this and sell it. And if you go to the store you'll see a lot of different brands that are like this. Now, in English, when we talk about this thing, it's called a Q-tip, right? Because this is such a popular thing, such a popular brand that it's just the brand name has become the generic name. So I don't even know what this is called. It might be called like a cotton swab ear cleaner, right? You use Q-tips to clean your ears. Let's see if my ears are dirty. Hey, they're clean. Guys, look at that. My ears are clean. It kind of tickles. It just tickles my ears. That's funny. All right, so guys, in English, you can't call it any other word. It's just Q-tip, right? So you'd say, I'm going to the store. Hey, Mom. Oh, I'm just at the store. I'm buying some Q-tips, right? Now, you might actually not be buying the Q-tip brand. You might be buying the cheaper brand because usually like the knockoff brands are cheaper, right? So, like, I don't know what the knockoff brand would be, like just the Walmart brand or what other kind of brands? Like, what is this? This is, I don't even know what brand this is. It says Cash Cuisine. Cash Cuisine. I've never heard of that brand. It's very clear though that this is Jello, right? Everybody calls this Jello, even though the Jello is the brand name, right? So you get this idea, right? So if something is a generic product, just a generic name, that means it's just some other company makes it. It's not the real brand name, right? Now I'll give you another example here. So look at this weird looking thing, okay? This is a tripod. Almost every YouTuber has a tripod like this. Now, this is called a Joby Gorilla Pod. Okay, the company name is Joby, and they named this product the Gorilla Pod. Okay, as you can see, you can move the legs around like that, and it's kind of a cool little tripod. Now, they made it, that company, Joby, made it. They invented this, I guess. But I don't think this one is a real Gorilla Pod. This is just a knockoff brand. Probably some Chinese brand. I don't know if it's good quality. It's probably not as good quality as the real one. Very often the real quality, like for example, for Q-tips, I buy the Q-tip brand because it's just they're better. They're better. I don't like those fake brands when it comes to Q-tips. But for Jello, honestly, I have no idea. I don't really know. I don't think I would care. Maybe the real Jello brand is better than this knockoff brand. But I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Do you think it matters if it's a knockoff brand? I don't know. But for me, I like Q-tips because they're just better. They feel better in the ear. And if you agree with me, let me know down in the comments. Some things, sometimes people just want the good quality ones of a product, right? Sometimes people are willing to compromise to save on price, right? The word compromise means you're willing to sacrifice some quality maybe for the price, right? So we've got cheap products and we've got high quality like expensive products, high quality, and cheap and a bit like cheaper quality, right? The word cheap can have two meanings. It can mean cheap in price and cheap in quality. So if you say this product is really cheap, it could mean it's really inexpensive, or it could mean it's poor quality. All right, so let's say, you've got that range, you might compromise, you might be willing to compromise on the quality in order to save some money. So when I bought these, I was willing to compromise. Would you be willing to compromise? But when it comes to Q-tips, I'm not willing to compromise. When it comes to this kind of a tripod, yeah, I'm willing to compromise. Like, I don't know, what's the worst thing that could happen? You know, if I have it wrapped around like a tree or something, I don't know, and my camera, if let's say it breaks and my camera falls off, yeah, I might lose some money, but I think it's going to be okay, right? So I'm willing to take that risk. I'm willing to compromise a little bit on the quality to save on the price, okay? So I don't know what this would be called if you don't call it a Gorilla Pod. Like, imagine if you invented this, what would you call it? You can't call it, I mean, not invented. Let's say you made one of these. Joby Gorilla Pod already made this product, so they called it Joby Gorilla Pod. But if you wanted to copy this and make it and sell it, what would you call it? You're not allowed to call it maybe a Gorilla Pod because they already named it the Gorilla Pod. So I don't know, if I made something like this, I'd probably call it like a flexible tripod, maybe a flexible. I don't know what I'd call it. Let me know, what would you call it? But that's kind of interesting, right? When a company makes a product that is so good or so popular that everybody just calls it that thing, even if it's not made by that same company, right? So actually there are a ton of examples. I think I've made a video about this actually a year or two ago. If I have made a video, then I'll post it up here somewhere at the end of this video so you can go watch that. I think it might be called something like brand names that become generic names or something like that, right? So this brand name, Q-tips, has become the generic name, the common name. So if you're going to the store, you say, I'm going to buy Q-tips. Doesn't even matter if you're buying the fake ones, you still use it. And the same with Jello. Everybody calls this Jello. Nobody calls this Jelicious, right? The only reason they're using the word Jelicious is because they can't legally copy the name Jello. They can't steal that name, right? So there are a lot of examples like that in English. So guys, let's actually just start mixing this up. But first, let me just turn on my kettle, right? This thing is called an electric kettle. It heats water, right? Now, if it would be this kind of a kettle where you put it on the stove, I think it would be called a stovetop kettle, right? So you can heat water this way on the stove, or you can heat it using electricity. It's easier using electricity, right? It's pretty fast. You know, it's going to be boiling in no time. All right, so let's take a look at the instructions here. Okay, how to prepare. It says add a cup of boiling water to jelly powder. Stir until completely dissolved. And then add 1 cup of cold water or fruit juice. And then chill until set. Chill until set. And then it says do not add fresh pineapple or kiwi fruit as jelly will not set. Huh, isn't that interesting? Well, we're in luck today. I'm not planning to add any pineapple or kiwi fruit. Right, that will prevent the Jello from setting. Set. Now, in this, when you're making something like this, like it's a pretty common word in cooking, the word set. Okay, the recipe will say maybe, you know, let it set for a while. Put it in the fridge until it sets. That means when a liquid kind of becomes firm. So we want this Jello to become firm, right? So we have to put it in the fridge to let it cool off and set, because it's just kind of going to be liquid. We can't eat our Mellow fellow Marshmallow Jello unless it's set, right? So we're gonna, I don't know how long it's gonna take to set, but first we're gonna just dump our powder in here. That's our raspberry. All right, let's open our strawberry Jello, right? Remember, I'm calling it Jello. I'm not calling it Jelicious because nobody calls it that. It's just got one name in English, and that is the name Jello. Ooh. Ooh, that smells great. So we got strawberry and raspberry Jello. Guys, this is gonna be so delicious. You're making me want to sneeze. All this powder. Whoa, look at all that raspberry dust flying around my kitchen. It's all over the place, guys. I want to sneeze. All right, so we're gonna add some hot water to dissolve the crystals, whatever those powder crystals, right? So dissolve. Now, guys, I'm using a whisk. I just bought this whisk yesterday, right? So this is called a whisk, this kind of a utensil. It's called a whisk. So we're just gonna kind of whisk up our. Now I'm using two packs, right? So it would be 2 cups I need to add. Is that 2 cups? I don't know. I'm just eyeballing it. I'm eyeballing it. It means I'm just kind of, I'm guesstimating it. It's another word sometimes people use, the word guesstimate. Guesstimate is a combination between the word guess and estimate. All right, I'm guesstimating. Sometimes people use that in a casual context like this because it's like a slang word. Guesstimate. Have you ever guesstimated anything? Let me know down in the comments if you've ever guesstimated anything. So I'm just guesstimating. I'm eyeballing it. I'd say that's about 2 cups right there. So it's all mixed up already, guys. So that's good. Now we are going to add our cold water. And then I think we'll add our marshmallows in there afterwards, okay? So I'm just gonna add some water here, some cold water. How much? I'll add about that much, I think. My water is in this kind of a thing because I drink distilled water. So I have a water distiller and it just drips, it like boils it and then the steam drips into this glass container. The reason I drink distilled water is because, you know, the government puts all kind of garbage into our drinking water. It's really not healthy. Put all kinds of chemicals and everything into our drinking water, so I don't like that. I drink pure distilled water. All right, now we're gonna add our marshmallows. Look at these, our mini marshmallows, look at that. Mini marshmallows. Now remember a couple of lessons ago, I made hot chocolate and I taught you guys the names of the different marshmallows. The different sizes of marshmallows have their own names. So I'll post that video somewhere up here after this video if you want to go watch that. So we're gonna dump our mini marshmallows in here. Now is this warm? It's warm, but I don't think it's hot enough to melt the marshmallows. I could be wrong. I don't know. How warm do you think liquid needs to be to melt marshmallows? I don't know, guys. It's whatever. I don't think it'll melt. We're gonna add a bunch of marshmallows in here, okay? Gotta make the hole a little bit bigger. Okay, just gonna dump a whole bunch of, ooh, look at that. Now that's what I call a recipe. Have you ever made a recipe like this before, my friends? All right, so we're just gonna kind of try to push them down into the Jello. They're all floating, guys. I've never made this. We're inventing this recipe, you know, off the cuff. Off the cuff means we're doing it unplanned. So it's just kind of a random recipe. Guys, look at that. My mini marshmallows got stuck in my whisk. Look at that. Isn't that funny? They all got stuck in there. All right. Okay, come on, marshmallows. Get down in there. I guess they're all just gonna float, eh? Yeah, I think they're all just gonna float. All right, guys. Well, we're just gonna pop this in the fridge and let it set. I don't know how long it's gonna take to set. It might take like 20 minutes or an hour to set. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but whatever. We'll just pop it in there. I'll stop the video, and then in about 20 minutes or an hour, I don't know, after it sets, I'll be back, and we will do a taste test. Well, guys, I shouldn't have compromised. I should have spent a few extra cents and got the real Jello, not the knockoff brand. Never buy Jelicious. Always buy the real Jello, because look at that. It's been in my fridge for like 2 hours. It's just not setting. It's not setting. I don't know, maybe I added too much water. I don't think so. There's no way that's 4 cups. You think that's 4 cups of water? I don't think that's more than 4 cups. It might be I think it's about 4 cups. I wouldn't say it's much more than 4 cups. But look at that, how runny that is. So, Mellow Marshmallow Jello. Didn't turn out very well. Sorry about that, guys. This is my second recipe in a row that kind of flopped. Remember, our last recipe was mashed potatoes, and that one flopped too. Remember, I taught you the word flopped, and I botched. Remember, I botched the mashed potatoes? Well, I also botched this recipe. I guess now I'm 0 for 2. I botched 2 in a row. That's not good. Oh, hey, I should teach you what Mellow Marshmallow Jello. Well, you already know the words marshmallow. That's this guy right here. That's a marshmallow. And you know Jello. Jello's supposed to be like a jelly, a jelly kind of texture. This is not a jelly texture. Look at this. It's like liquid. This wasn't supposed to happen this way, guys. But what about the first 2 words? Do you know what those mean? Mellow fellow. What does mellow mean? Well, mellow means calm or relaxed. You know, if someone is a mellow person, that means they're pretty calm. They're just chill, you know, relax. They've got a calm personality. Are you a mellow person? I don't know if I'm a mellow person. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm a mellow person. But fellow is another word for a person. A fellow. Are you a mellow fellow? That means just are you relaxed? Yeah, mellow fellow. I'm trying to think, is the word fellow just for men? Or can it be used for women? She's a fellow. I don't know. That's a good question. I'm actually not sure. My heater just switched on. My central heating here in Canada. We have central heating. It's cold outside, so my heater just switched on. I don't know if you can hear that in the microphone. But yeah, mellow, just calm, and fellow is like a person. Maybe it's a fella. He's a fella. I don't know. Guys, I'm not sure if fellow is male. I think sometimes people even say fella. He's a nice fella. Fella, in terms like it as like kind of a short way to say fellow. Fella. I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comments if fellow can be used for a woman. But if you say, you know, he's a mellow fellow, that would mean he's a calm fellow. So the reason I chose those words is because they all rhyme, right? Mellow fellow, marshmallow, jello. So now you know what those words mean. Let me know if you're a mellow fellow down in the comments. I'm an angry fellow because my jello recipe flopped. Look at that. What a disaster. Just a Pure disaster. Alright guys. Well, let's do a taste test. See if this is at least edible. So if you can eat something, that means it's edible. Sometimes we use, like, really the word edible means if it's possible to eat. You know, if like a plant, if we talk about certain plants being edible or maybe poisonous, right? Some plants are poisonous, so they're not edible. What's the opposite of edible? Non-edible? Unedible? Inedible? You know, sometimes even native English speakers kind of struggle with these words, like to make a positive word negative. What do you add? What's that little prefix at the beginning of the word that you add? It's unedible, inedible, non-edible. I don't know. I can't even think of it now. Let me know down in the comments what it is. You guys should teach me in this lesson. My brain is fried. I can't think properly. If your brain is fried, it means your brain is just, it's not working properly. It might be too tired, or it might be lazy, or just overloaded. Right? So I don't know. But we also use the word edible if something tastes good or not. So, you know, obviously this is edible. I could eat this. I'm not going to die, right? But if I say I'm wondering whether it's edible or not, that means I'm wondering if it tastes good or not. So guys, let's do a taste test here. Let's get a little, look at how all those marshmallows are like bunched together. They're all like caked together. Look at that. They're caked together. That means they're stuck together. Look at all that. It's just a, look at those marshmallows caked together. Here, let me give you guys the first bite, okay? Here's the first bite for you, my friends. I love you so much. Okay, here we go. Got a little bit of Jello liquid. It's not a jelly-like substance, right? The reason the company called it Jello is because the word jelly means that kind of a like a wiggly, what's the word? Kind of a wobbly or wiggly texture, where it's, you know, you kind of touch it and it kind of jiggles. Oh, jiggly, that's the word I'm looking for. All right, if it's something, the texture is a little bit jiggly, that means it's kind of like Jello, right? If you touch Jello, it kind of jiggles around a little bit. All right, so it's supposed to be jiggly. So Jello is supposed to be like jelly, right? But this is not Jello or jelly at all. This is liquid. Anyway, let's get some Jello liquid and some marshmallows, and we'll do a taste test. That's not bad. That is not bad, my friends. I am happy with my marshmallow raspberry liquid. Isn't that a great recipe right there? Look at all those caked together marshmallows in my raspberry soup. Alright, guys. That's it. There it is. Hope you learned a few new words like whisk and mellow and fellow. Hope you're a happy fellow today. Hope you're having a great day. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay positive. Don't get fat by eating Mellow Fellow Marshmallow Jello all day long. But if you want, send me a picture of your recipe. Hopefully it turns out a little bit better than mine did. But even if it doesn't, you can enjoy some raspberry marshmallow soup. Alright guys, thank you for joining me. I love you so much. And as always, I'll see you over in the next episode of English Cooking. Take care.